spectator mode as well on a different map. And of course, will the zone play into their hands? Let's find out.
Well, here we go then, match number 6 about to take place. We are over the halfway point now. Well, we will be as soon as the players drop out the drop ship officially. I know you're one of those people who would hold me to that. You'd be like, it's not yet.
Game hasn't started yet.
Game hasn't started yet. But it has now. We are officially over the halfway mark here. And like I mentioned, game by game, pressure goes up and up for those teams who want to get straight into match point finals, or those teams who just want to stay alive.
Yeah, staying alive, I think, is got to be the main focus. If you're especially down in the kind of danger zones, that's what you focus on first, is putting a big points total on the board just to try and secure your spot in the tournament before you start thinking about qualifying for those match point finals.
One thing I love about Ninjas in Pajamas, by the way, is the mesh of personalities. You think about the stories of these 3 players, right? You know, Vayne been in and out of the competitive scene a little bit, kind of took a little bit of time off, came back again. McLovin, a great rise through the Challenger circuit. Controller player who really stood out. Very impressive stuff from here. And then you have Kurev as well, who gets dropped from that Team Liquid roster after winning BLGS, as Jaguares goes back to join his boys. So it's kind of like a mishmash of people who have very similar personalities with how they see the game, how they approach the game, don't get too flustered about certain things, and just have a really good mentality that seems to work so well together.
Well, you can see where we're heading on the map, and you can also see all of the legends that have been selected. And if you're doing your math quickly, Fuse has been picked 10 times and is going to be banned for the next one. So I was saying how NIP avoiding the bans, well, now they will lose Fuse going into the last 4. Sparrow very close to being banned as well on 9, and Ballistic on 9 as well. So maybe people starting to see the success of NIP and saying, well, yeah, maybe we should start using some of those legends we haven't been.
I also have to correct myself, as I often have to do. Arcati are actually over in the mill. It's all game into it just above them, just a downbeat. So apologies to everyone. But I corrected myself. I held my hands up. I made a mistake.
It's very small writing on the map we have in front of us as well.
Thank you for giving me an excuse. I just saw it wrong.
You haven't got your glasses on. Neither have I. How are either of us seeing?
I actually don't have my glasses on.
We both forgot our glasses today, so we're stood 6 inches from the monitor. We're going full Zainu.
We are pixel sniffing our way through this next game. Fnatic, 14th place overall at the moment. We'll be safe and we'll go into the last chance qualifier, but of course, they want to get into the top 7. They want to be in that match point finals. They don't want to have to come back and play another day until Sunday comes around. Where that zone is going to be going, you can see a lot of people heading out to the eastern side of Storm Point right now. I'll be one of those teams who are making their way through the mountain lift at the moment.
There's a shield battery here.
Looting on their way.
Yeah, a few teams were able to hop in their vehicle and able to move very fast indeed. There's other squads that are more than happy to take the Trident a little bit later and perhaps go for a rotation all the way around onto the eastern side, go around the coast and then cut in. But that's always dangerous a little bit late as Kinadrope looks like they're trying to take on Edward Gaming here and have done very well.
Yeah, return last alive. Gets the wall down, but one bullet, or should I say one bow, is going to be enough. Or should I even say one arrow. And look at Kinadrope Gaming, by the way. They are fired up after that. All smiles, and why wouldn't you be?
I mean, 6th place at the moment for Kinadrope. But for a team that really struggled in scrims, again, this was something you were talking about, playing on ping.
I was going to say, we talk about crypto jail, let's talk about ping jail.
Yeah, they're out. Kinadrope didn't win a single match throughout scrims. They were only one of 4 teams throughout who didn't win one. I think their highest position was 6th, and now they find themselves in 6th in the overalls.
Well, Falcon are making a really aggressive early play here for where they believe endgame is going to be going. You see a lot of teams moving down to the southern side of the hill. And Zero picking up 2 kills here. Hal getting the last one with that nade as well. And of course 36 are dealt with, and Falcons will pick up 3 KP.
They were deleted so fast, and now Falcons will have the majority of the southeast side of this circle that is being played for, but they're going to continue moving a little bit further, it would seem, until they find somewhere they can comfortably call home. These rocks can play pretty well as long as you are very aware of your surroundings and know what positions you're going to be pushed from.
Zero actually got one of those kills with the Whistler as well, with the Q for Ballistic, which is always frustrating if you're on the receiving end of that, but enough damage was done to mean that he only had to tickle him.
Weapon supply bin there, if you like.
Pushing up that second KP for Falcons. Wolves take a little bit of a different route here.
How about we reposition over there?
Spider Cave. All the way on the northern side of the map at the moment. You can see that they've pinged the survey beacon. They want to hit that and see where everyone else is playing ahead of them.
do have access to both Ring Console and Survey Beacon. It's going to be different when we go into the next game, when we lose Fuse as well. A lot of these Ring Console characters are starting to disappear. And you might have to move for something a little bit different as we get a little replay of that final Bocek shot. Right in the backside.
Sentinels then. Man, a little bit closer to the launch pad at the moment, down the southern side of where this zone is. You can see they have Ring Console information, so they're going to know where it's going. AG saving their legs at the moment and making sure that the Trident, their preferred mode of travel, pick up a few bits of Evo and attachments as they hit these fighters on the way through too.
And again, I don't want to keep harping on about it, but AG went from first place in the first game and they've only solidified 5 points since then and now find themselves in 7th. So a team who was looking to maybe try and secure their spot in match point finals now find themselves on the cutoff of said match point finals here and really need to start finding a couple more points on the board.
Certainly do indeed. One thing I always say in esports, never celebrate early in a series. Enjoy the moment, have fun, celebrate at the end when you know the work's done. How many times we see people get bitten in the backside by doing that? I'm just going to hope that's not the case.
Sometimes I think the relief of game one can be an outburst of celebration, and especially when you're being heckled by the fans, as it seems like AG were.
Level 3.
But alas, they are still in 7th. They are still in one of those qualification spots, so it's not all doom and gloom just yet. And the position they find themselves in, they will be holding the northeast side of this next zone, so they could hold out the likes of NIP, Fnatic, TSM, and Team Orchid, who will be arriving late. But the zone will continue to move east, closer to the likes of Na'Vi and Mouse.
Has gone up north though, and it looks like it might be finishing around the end of the cannon, the kind of cannon launcher. So a lot of the teams who are down on the southern side, the likes of Zero Tenacity, Furia, Falcons, Nemesis, well now, they're going to have to make a very, very treacherous trip uphill.
Never really do like my incline steps. How are their calves would be the real question, because if you don't have a Trident, you're going to have to make that merry old walk, and it is not a fun one, let me tell you, because there's going to be teams shooting down from above.
I'll also give you a bit of advice, speaking of carbs.
Yes.
Never train carbs before you get in a flight.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Agony on the way over.
Good. That's advice for everyone.
I have small carbs.
Not just for me. Advice for everyone from onset. He does lift a lot.
I'm here for you.
Nemesis are going to be the first team that will have to move on that eastern side, and they could potentially, though, maybe stop Falcons from moving. As you can see, Nemesis in the position they find themselves in right now, they will be able to just like crawl up the east, but behind them are Team Falcon, so perhaps that's why they're just waiting in the moment to see if anyone's going to join them. And there is that option. You can see the Ring Console is just down to their bottom right, but I don't think they have the possibility to use it. Oh no, they have Pathfinder, so they are going to be able to use it as well.
Spider. Poor Spider-Man, he's trying to live his life. TSM managed to find their way into one of these staircases, which can be a really, really good spot to hold for this endgame, especially with the teams above you at Stormcatcher, everyone else is retaining from the south, having to find their way through bullets and fire, and you can kind of just hunker down and see what's going on. Speaking of hunkering down, thinking about seeing what's going on. Jacko trying to get a couple of walls down here on the rampart to find some angles of the teams who are coming in late from the north.
Only 24 points at the moment for Na'Vi, finding themselves in 12th, but Sheila has been ripped out. Might be able to rip through some shields from those teams that are riding from the north. Remember I mentioned Gen G at Lightning Rod, and they had the #2 pick in this draft. They went for Elrod. Can they capitalize? At the moment, they were kind of being held out by Wolves Esports. So they haven't been able to do anything thus far.
Falcons about to take a fight here against Noise Fox, and the worry for Falcons is the armor disadvantage they find themselves at. It's going to be Noise Fox without the purples. Falcons haven't been able to engage enough with anyone to get themselves up to blues, but a good EMP is going to level that out for a few seconds, but I think that's more just to keep Zero in a position which stays alive and get that battery off.
Yeah, it was a peak from Zero, but he had taken so much damage they had to use the EMP defensively, really. But I'm not sure that Nose Fox are going to really capitalize from it.
It's getting really busy in this area as well. You can see from our map overhead as well. You got Nemesis on that high ground. You got Nose Fox down on there. You got Falcon Sentinels having a look at it as well. It's really tough rotate for all these teams.
I do think that was why Nemesis were hesitant to push up too early, because they recognized there was going to be a lot of traffic coming behind them and potential to pick up some KP here. Falcons are still alive. We'll go back to their rocks. But don't be fooled by the rocks that they've got, because they are going to have to move soon.
That was an unintentional.
It wasn't.
Was it? Oh, it was intentional. Oh.
Very intentional.
I couldn't tell if you were happy with yourself or devastated. Either way. Shout out J-Lo. Anyway, he's trying to make their way uphill right now, and also Team Orchid finding that this is a very treacherous path to have to take. Luxford on the Pathfinder. Cannot get away. Gurev will chop him down, and this fight's inside a zone. Only zone 2 though, so both teams recognizing that, and NIP will be able to not only grab the KP, but also should have enough time here with zone 3 about to close. Hit that evac and get back inside of a safe position.
It's only Gurev. He is the only player that went on a journey there to get the remaining kill. One player from Orchid has survived and will be reviving the rest of the team as well, or at least crafting the rest of the team. Getting them back on the map is a different matter. But I would imagine Orchid should get back up, as NIP will also hold now the western side. Their closest competitors are going to be ALGS, Movistar Koi, excuse me, also in the same area.
Kinetropes, 6th place overall, by the way. And in one of those good spots for where this zone is going to be pulling. We mentioned the grab lift. This is where the zone is most likely going to be ending here.
There's a mark out there in the distance.
Enemy spotted.
And if they can put another good game together here and put some KP alongside a good placement, there's a long way to securing potentially a match point final spot.
I like their position, I like their composition as well, as Team Falcons now eventually will be taking on a fight against Furia. Madness has already fallen, Madness gets finished, and now Keon is going to be the next to follow up.
Woo! Forget about the Devo in the sling. This man's got the rampage, and Zero is going on a rampage right now. Furia dealt with. Only Hal went down. Waltzy was in a position to stay alive here, and they should be able to get this res as well. Furia will fall. It's 4 KP to the name of Zero himself, leading the lobby.
Suddenly everyone's starting to get a little bit worried about their zone is moving as it shifts a little bit further back down south.
Double pullback.
Well, you would have thought Falcons were going to be struggling, but now they're going to have the zone come back towards them. Sentinel's taking on NIP.
Yeah, double pullback in this zone. It's been a fascinating one to watch, as Vayne now comes in once again to cause some problems. The 2020's come out, and his vision is looking 2020 as he takes down the final player, Sentinels, next out of the lobby.
Well, where do NIP go, though? If they go south, it's going to be a real struggle, so you might have to go up and go over this mountain, but again, where are you landing? So many teams are going to be taking up space here. This is going to be a rough landing for them.
I wonder if Gurev was able to pop mech it. Yes, he was, just about. The zone is going to be burning. Vayne has just about managed to get inside of that zone, but they're not going to be able to get McLovin back in the game. They don't even have the banner as yet, but this tree spot will keep them safe for now. Double clusters coming in, though. It's going to make it a little bit uncomfortable. And Z10 might make it even more uncomfortable. 2 duos alongside Falcons.
Well, I was going to say, Z10 might actually take a little bit of attention away from Ninjas in Pyjamas, because Falcons might have to focus on them. ALGS eliminated, as are Team Orchid.
Interesting to see out the other side of Team Falcons at the moment. Nemesis and Noisy Fox are trying to rotate behind them, but Falcons are keeping their heads on a swivel here. Zero's taking a lot of damage, and he's just found out where those shots are coming from as well, but he finds a little cubby just to escape here and get that battery popped.
Those Fox go down. Team Nemesis were able to get the final hits onto them, and they have got a knock onto Zero. Are they going to push up on it is the real question. Elsewhere, Fnatic taking on Kinetrope.
Kinetrope have been holding down this spot. Fnatic have crashed the party though, but Kinetrope have given the space up and have stayed healthy enough here to stay in this fight. Fnatic will hold this space. Fnatic will be safe for now.
A lot of grenades coming out.
Nades.
But I don't know if there was much damage from them, but Kinetrope, they're going to send it anyway.
That is a lot of nades, and as you can see, here comes Sheila! Cannon last alive now, trying to get in a position to hold it down, but Yuka's still alive here, and Yuka will clutch for Fnatic.
He went back, he wanted to get the shield swap, but I believe it was a dead swap in there, and it just killed that fight in the end, as Falcons still holding on as a 2. Again, another member has gone down. NIP getting involved in this because they sense there is a potential to push up on the Falcons.
Gurev's going to have a peek at this.
Oh!
Yuka's down! Oh my Zero! The Peacekeeper! Max damage! That'll teach you to peek, Gurev.
Doesn't matter if it's a Peacekeeper or a Kraber. Zero Zero always find a way to pump you through enough damage. Vane's going to try and escape, but it looks like he's going to be chased, but behind them comes Nemesis.
Yeah, Wolsey just got caught in a pinch here, and look at this. Nemesis right behind as Zero overextends to get the kill on the solo. Nemesis sees the opportunity brilliantly. And even though Ninjas in Pajamas are eliminated, which will mean they will not go back to back to back, Falcons might look back on that moment as something that, a bit of an overextension, bit of a misstep.
Well, Nemesis will finish up the remaining pieces of Falcons that were still on the floor, but there's going to be commotion elsewhere. Na'Vi, TSM, Fnatic, all getting involved here.
And again, TSM hold behind a Newcastle wall. TSM hold in a position where it looks like they should go down. Dupe is the last alive. We'll be able to get the swap here, and he's looking to finish these downs, but Fnatic have sniffed him out. See that he's a solo. They want this kill. Hyaka, he's going to get it though. TSM eliminated. Hyaka sliding away, but Na'Vi will go down as well, and Fnatic control the entirety of the North.
Zero is still alive, has now secured top 5 for Falcons as Genji eliminated. Nemesis will hold the south, and you've got Wolves on the east. Mao's still alive, as well as Fnatic on the north, but Mao's have taken so much damage here. Both them and Wolves are in very difficult spots.
Fnatic are picking up KP after KP.
Attack over there.
First it was Kinatrope, the clutch from Yuka. Then they swing it onto TSM, clean up that damage. Alongside Na'Vi, who get credited with that kill, but they make him pay and they get a bit of revenge by taking down that final player. And now Fnatic, like we mentioned, control the entirety of the northern side of the zone. The southern side is Nemesis. Falcons still alive, Zero still breathing.
But it's going to be Wolves now full sending it, but Mao's are going to get the better of them for the beginning, but it's going to be a 2. Yeah, they're already ripped through. Great job from Mao to take down Wolves here, but can they reset? It looks like they should be okay. Fnatic are taking a peek from above, but Fnatic don't want to give up their spot, so they are not going to commit to it.
Yeah, 4 squads alive. It's always an awkward number. They will know there's a solo in the lobby doing the quick maths that is required. And Nemesis got a horrible surprise for Zero here as they zip towards him. They want this KP. But Zero somehow keeps threading the needle here. Finally, unfortunately, the needle gets lost in the haystack, and that'll be Zero and Falcons eliminated. Top 4 for them.
So Fnatic still in prime position, but as they are temporarily distracted from Mao's, it will allow Nemesis to walk up and take center zone here. But Mao's have just found a cliff edge to work with. And it really is going to be a very difficult position for them to try and get up, because Nemesis might actually get an angle on them here.
Yeah, the pace of this end zone is going to be controlled by Fnatic. Whoever they decide to focus on will be a major disadvantage. But look at Mao's.
How's it going?
Sneaky, sneaky Mao's. Going all the way up towards the north. But Aku's got to be careful here. Looks like a decision might be made that we've got to play for seconds somewhere along the line, but Nemesis will be credited with these kills. Fnatic will now have a 3v3 to win this game, and that's a big EMP. Nemesis take the damage from the EMP. The grapple up isn't great, and surely this is just opening the door for Fnatic to close this one out.
Fnatic have dominated this game, they've dominated the height, and they look to dominate this fight as well. Nemesis will fall, Fnatic will take the game, and they erupt with a victory here in match number 6.
And APAC North will be celebrating wherever they are watching right now. And you can see how much that means to Fnatic as well.